Hello everyone. Let's learn about how to dry run a flowchart. In previous tutorial, we learned how to create flowcharts in order to depict how a process is taken place. Now, when you draw a flowchart, there are few things could happen. Sometimes your logic may be not correct. So it happens always, and that is why we need to always double check the functionality of the flowchart. Uh, in order to testing your algorithm, one mechanism is that you can do the dry run. So usually, almost every programmer does this dry run for simple programs. Uh, Dry run is a process involved in manually walking through the algorithm uh, to check the values of the variable. So from by doing this one, uh, the programmer will be able to detect logic error. So if the logic is correct or not, that you can easily detect with the dry run. However, dry run is not capable of detecting execution errors. For example, when I say execution error, it happens when you run a code on the runtime. Uh, you might, or the user might ask to do the program that cannot be done, so that program get crash. Now, for example, you have written code where you have division with two numbers, and if it is like divided by zero, which is not defined in mathematics, so that you can't do anything with the computer. So if that is not handled, most probably you may not be able to catch using dry runs. Of course, there are certain cases you can find certain things. Now, another thing is like if you ask your program to append some text to an existing file, and if that file does not exist, so that there's no way of appending. So it's like creating new file in and adding it. So that kind of situation, if you have not given instruction to the program, if that file does not exist, create new file and do it. So those execution errors are not that easily detected using dry running an algorithm. Okay, this is one of the examples I discussed in my previous tutorials. So let's dry run that example and see whether it does its real job. Now, so in order to do that, I will consider three different situations. So I will pick numbers where number one is larger than number two, number one is less than number two, and number one equals number two. So let's consider this situation, number three and five. So number one and number two. So I'm inputting number three in the get number one, and then I input number two, and then I do the subtraction. Now in this subtraction, what I have here is 3 minus 5. So 3 minus 5 is a negative minus 2. So that is negative. So this condition is not satisfied. So that we print number 2 as the large number. So number 2 is 5. So 5 is printed. Our program is over. So this works with this program. Now let's consider 8 and 2. So when you do the subtraction over here, it's like 8 minus 2 is 6. So x is positive. So if x is greater than 0, uh, so we go and print number 1. So 1 is 8. So that's the largest number. That's also correct. Now then consider situation where the both numbers are 7. So we have 7 here, the 7 here. And then when you do the subtraction, this becomes 0. Now, if you consider the situation 0 greater than 0, this condition is not satisfied, right? So since this condition is not satisfied, it goes here, uh, executes no, and prints number 2. Number 2 is 7. So 7 will be printed as the largest number. However, we know that both of the numbers are the same. So then you can see there is a issue. So after that, you stop the program. So you can see that there is an issue with the program where we have not handled the situation where both numbers are equal, because our objective is to find the largest number. So if numbers are equal, then what we need to do is we need to mention the users, the uh, numbers are equal. There's no larger number out of those two numbers. Okay, let's fix that. Now let's consider situation now when two numbers, as we recognize when two numbers are equal, we need to handle. Now with this condition, what we do is we check whether x is greater than 0. Then there are two situations to handle where x equals 0, situation, and we need to handle x less than 0. So we need to handle two different situations. So if x is equal to 0, we need to handle it separately, and if x is greater than less than 0, we need to handle it separately. So therefore, we need to have another conditional section or branching section. So if this is no, now we'll consider the situation where x equals 0. So if x equals 0, if this is satisfied, that means numbers are equal. So if this x is negative, or if this condition is satisfied, this is x equals 0 condition is not satisfied. So let's consider that situation when uh, so we have equal numbers. So x greater than 0 is not satisfied. Then we check whether if it is equal 0. If that is also not satisfied, so that means x is negative. So in other words, number 2 is larger than number 1. So in that case, we will print number 2 as previous case, and we stop the program. So then no issue at all. Now let's consider situation. This condition is satisfied. So if this condition is satisfied, both numbers are equal. So that what we need to do is uh, print a statement that both of the numbers are equal. But we can't say what is larger because both of them are equal. Then we stop the program. Remember that again we are connecting one arrow to another arrow. We need to indicate that using a circle. So hope you understand situations where even in a question, so probably in the definition of the question, some of the things and handle it. And dry run is one of the methods that you can use to detect these things. So thank you very much.